Welcome back to The Rustic Wife. I'm Alana. So the tomatoes, we've been dealing with those all season long, preserving them, but they are starting to come to a close. So what I thought I would do is share with you the varieties that I grew this year, the ones that I loved, the ones that were okay, and I'm probably going to whittle down the varieties that I grow next year. So I'm going to show you what these tomatoes look like on the inside. I'm going to give them a taste test and let you know what my opinion is on them, and then I'll let you know which ones I'm going to grow next year. Okay, so I have some of these tomatoes set up for you to see what they look like, and then we're going to cut them open and you can see what they look like on the inside, and also I'm going to give my opinion on the taste of them. So the first one we're going to try is the Sugar Rush cherry tomatoes. First time I've grown these, and this is what they look like. So here they are on the inside. Juicy and not too many seeds. So I'm going to try it now. They're juicy, sweet, and not mealy. That is a big plus for me. I can't handle mealy tomatoes. They're really gross, but these ones, the Sugar Rush, are a thumbs up. I will grow those again next year. Now here are these red currant ones. They are so stinking cute. And they're not a pain to pick either, because you just have to pick the whole stem, and then they don't take hardly any time at all to get them off the stem. So we'll try these ones. Again, I've tried these. I've tried all of them, but I'll just give you my opinion. So that's the inside of those little guys. Just tiny. Very, very cute. Very sweet, not mealy. I find the skin a little bit tougher than the cherry or Sugar Rush. I mean, it's a different tomato, but I really like those. These were Isabel's all-time favorite. Extremely sweet. So I will definitely grow those again. And since I have no idea what variety these are, it's not going to be helpful for you, but they're just a grape tomato that like I said, I've saved the seed for about 4 years now. And these ones actually last forever. They're very prolific. They keep going right until, shoot, I've picked tomatoes in October, November even. And they're very, I just got one that cracked, but usually they're very crack resistant. Most of them don't. So that's a big added bonus for me. So I'm gonna taste test them compared to the Sugar Rush, because so far the Sugar Rush are my favorite. I've always loved these ones, but they are not as sweet as the Sugar Rush. So far, Sugar Rush still wins. Again, same thing. I don't know what the variety of this is, but I thought it'd just be fun just to try them against the Sugar Rush. And these are ones that I've saved for about 3 or 4 years too. They're a nice sized cherry. Again, they rarely crack, which is what I like and why I keep saving the seed. But I'm going to test those ones. So that's the size. My husband will actually take these and cut them up and put them on a sandwich because he likes a smaller tomato. So try these ones. Quite sweet, sweeter than the grape ones that I saved. But I have to say the winner so far for the cherry or the grape tomatoes is the Sugar Rush. The ones I'm going to try are the Alicante Cocktail. They are obviously bigger than a cherry tomato. Just a nice size for a salad, really. So this is the inside of the cocktail tomato. Quite sweet and not mealy or mushy. Softer than a slicer tomato. Nice texture, and I would grow those again because they're nice for a salad. So in my opinion, these are my favorite ones to grow right here. First time growing them, and I find them the sweetest ones out of all of the cherry tomatoes that I've grown. Leave me your favorites in the comments so I can explore some different seeds for next year. And I'm always interested in trying new ones, so So definitely tell me which ones are your favorites. And also I will, in the description box, write down where I got all my seeds and which company I got them from and the name of them. Okay, next I am going to do the plum tomatoes that I grew. These two varieties, the Granadero plum and the Chipola's Pride plum, it's the first year growing those. I usually grow the San Marzano, which is over here, and I do like those for sauce, but I thought I'd try some other ones here. So these plum tomatoes are quite big. These aren't even some of the biggest that we grew. And they look more like a slicer, but they are a plum. So I'm gonna cut them and you can see. Yeah, so that's the Granadero plum. They look like they're kind of mealy, but we'll see. They look just like a slicer tomato, but they are a plum. These tomatoes, they are pretty disease resistant and fairly thick wall. They are an indeterminate tomato and they are also a hybrid. So let's just give it a try. That's really nice. It's not too acidic, a little bit of sweetness to it and not mealy, which is a plus. Actually, it'd be nice in a salad too. It's not as dry as other sauce tomatoes, which would tell me this would probably be good for salsa, but maybe a little bit more watery for sauce compared to maybe a San Marzano. I could be wrong, but we'll find out because I'm going to be doing some sauce shortly. The next one is Chipola's Pride, and there's a pretty cool story with this one. So these seeds were brought over from Sicily in 1906 to Brooklyn, New York by a fellow named Emilio Cipolla, and apparently they had a 20-acre farm in Connecticut where they continued to grow these tomatoes. And then Emilio's great-grandson, Larry, he also continued to grow them, and they were called Grandpa's tomatoes. And he sent the seeds into Johnny's Seeds, and they are an open pollinated indeterminate variety, and then Larry renamed it Chipola's Pride. I think that's a really cool story. I love things like that. So it's apparently really great for sauce. It's more dry and really high yield fruits on the plants. So let's test one out and I'll cut it open. Here it is. Nice thick wall on it. They look lovely. So let's give it a try. That's really nice. A little less acidic than the Granadero plum. And like I said, these aren't a slicing tomato for sandwiches, but this one I would put this in salads. I think that will make a really nice sauce too. Of course, San Marzano. Everybody knows that one. That's a pretty famous tomato for making sauce. Usually quite dry, so you don't have to cook it down as long. So I'm gonna cut open one of these. Okay, so this is the San Marzano variety. Yeah, much more dry than the others. Thicker walls, less seeds. So these will make a really nice sauce. Well, they do. I've grown them many times before. And these are an heirloom variety. They originated in Naples, Italy. So this is the San Marzano, which is also a determinate plant. Texture is much more mealy than the other two, but it's for sauce, so you won't notice. Nice flavor, not too acidic either. Less acidic than the other two that I just tried. So for sauce, I think, as everyone says, these are the really good ones. That's just my opinion. I've used those several times. So those are the plums. So there's the 3 plum tomatoes that I grew. And I'll have to say, flavor-wise, I liked the San Marzano, and it's going to be nice for sauce because you don't have to cook it down. I also like the Chipola's Pride, and the Granadero are that's my 3rd favorite. Okay, now we have our slicers. We have the pink Berkeley Tie Dye, the Koire Du Bois, hope I say that correctly, purple Cherokee Bonnie Best, the seeds are from Mackenzie Seed Company, Brandywine, and Henry's Bonnie Best. So the first one is one called Pink Berkeley Tie Dye. So this one has a really unique pattern, almost like a greeny gold stripe on like a dusty rose background. It's really interesting. So this is Indeterminate. I heard a lot about these tomatoes, that's why I ordered the seeds. I found they got disease really quickly, so I don't know if I'll grow those again next year, but I'm going to cut it open and you can have a look. So this is the Pink Berkeley Tie Dye. I actually had high hopes for the Pink Berkeley Tie Dye, but I wasn't that impressed with it. Now, soil plays a big role in your tomatoes, and some people may grow them in a different region, a different soil, and they turn out fantastic, but they were good, but they weren't what I was expecting, I guess. So I'm just going to try it. It's really juicy. Maybe it was the weather, our soil, I don't know, but I don't really find it has a great flavor. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'll try them again next year and see if it's different, but I wasn't really blown away by the Pink Berkeley Tie Dye. Now these next tomatoes, I was super shocked at the taste. They're probably my favorite out of all of them. The Koire Du Bois, it is an Italian variety, and it's an heirloom variety. It's also Indeterminate, and we picked these up at an Italian market, the seeds. We picked the seeds up at the Italian market. Never heard of them before, and look at the shape. The shape is really unique. And Koire Du Bois, I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly again, but it means ox heart in Italian. So I'm going to cut one of those open. You can see it, but I just find the shape of them like super interesting. Almost like a little purse, like a little handbag, or as Isabel said, a dumpling. When I first picked one earlier on in the season and cut it open, I thought, oh, this is going to be mealy. I thought, oh man, these aren't going to be good. But I will. Almost looks like a really large plum tomato. It's really different looking on the inside. It is the most interesting looking tomato, but when you try it, oh my gosh, they are so good. They made the best tomato sandwiches. Just fabulous. So I'm going to try it right now. It's really, really good. It's sweet, it's not acidic, it's not mealy or mushy. I'd have to say that's probably my favorite slicer so far that I've grown. I'm so shocked. The next variety is called Cherokee Purple. I've never grown this one before either. It's an heirloom variety, Indeterminate, and I've heard a lot of really great things about this tomato. So I have had it, and they're right. It's really inside there. It's it doesn't look purple to me. I guess maybe the dusty red and the green kind of make it look a little purple. So that's what they look like on the inside. It's a nice tomato, but it's good, but it doesn't have that really sweet sandwich tomato that I'm always looking for. Again, it could be my soil, the area that I'm growing them in, but that one was not my favorite either. I think it's equivalent to the Pink Berkeley Tie Dye in my opinion. And this one is Bonnie Best. This is also an heirloom variety. This is these seeds came from Mackenzie Seeds, but none of mine really grew that big. A Bonnie Best isn't a huge tomato anyway, but they're quite small. So we'll try those out. And they're also Indeterminate. I've always loved Bonnie Best. They're some of my favorite for slicers. There's a bad mark on that one, but you can see what it looks like on the inside. So I don't have a lot of great examples of this one. Like I said, they're all quite small, but looks can be deceiving, so let's give it a try. Super, super sweet. Really nice, not mealy, not mushy. Perfect for a tomato sandwich. I've always loved Bonnie Best and did not disappoint. And this is Brandywine. It's a very old heirloom variety too, like a beefsteak style. And they are also indeterminate. So that's the Brandywine. Some of them have kind of an odd shape to them, but tasty, but not as good, in my opinion, as the Bonnie Best. Not as sweet. It isn't mealy again. And last but not least, we have Henry's Bonnie Best. Now there's a really cool story to this one too. So the neat story behind the Henry's Bonnie Best tomato seeds is that I became friends with a lady from England. I'm Ontario, Canada, and she's from England. And I met her on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is Plot and Pantry, so go check her out. She's really lovely. So we became friends and we sent some seeds back and forth to each other. And she sent me these Henry's Bonnie Best tomato seeds. And along with the seeds, she sent a little write-up on the history of these seeds. So it turns out another girl from Ontario, Niagara Falls area, sent some of her seeds to Penny. And the story is, it was her grandfather, Henry, who used to grow these tomato seeds. And he would save them year after year. And he passed away. When he passed away, so the seeds were gone. Well, 30 years later, they actually found some seeds in a coat pocket of his, or maybe some work pants or something like that. And Karen actually took these 30-year-old seeds and planted them and got some of her grandfather's Bonnie Best tomatoes. So she's been saving these seeds ever since, and she's been kind enough to share them everywhere. And I've become friends with Karen too. She is from Hilltop Hygge, and check her out on Instagram too. She is really awesome. So I planted these seeds this year and I got some really lovely tomatoes. Now these are the end of the season. They were just amazing before. So I'm gonna cut one of these open and show you. So this is the inside of Henry's Bonnie Best. Beautiful. A really nice slicer. They're really meaty and juicy. So I'm gonna give it a try here. They're really, really good. Super sweet, not mushy again. Really meaty, fabulous for tomato sandwiches. It's got that old-fashioned tomato flavor, which I was looking for when you make a sandwich, or a toasted tomato sandwich or something. So those are fabulous. So I will definitely be saving some seeds from those. So I hope this little tomato show and tell helped you decide if you were thinking about purchasing some of these different varieties. So you can see what they look like on the inside and how they work for me. Again, I'm growing zone 5B in Ontario. Our soil is clay mixed with some triple mix that we had brought in, but maybe in different areas they grow much better than here. And maybe some of the ones that I loved may not grow as great for you in a different area. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you again next time. Isabel, your cat? Gilbert. Get over here and get this cat.